I want to congratulate you on not winning one, but two Bohemian Oscar Awards and the Award of Excellence for Outstanding Filmmaking at the San Francisco Film Awards.
Thank you.
Did you ever see your film work being this much of a success?
Well, to date, we've actually got like 9 awards now. We have been asked to attend the Central Florida Film Festival, which is in September. We are an official selection for that. We're an official selection for the Interrobang Film Festival, also for the San Francisco Global Awards, the Chagrin Documentary Film Festival, and most recently, we just returned from Santiago de Cuba.
Is this a film that you always knew you wanted to make one day, especially since the story no one could quite tell as well as you?
I was a broadcast journalist for like 20 years. And so, I had interviewed people all over the world, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Clinton, African presidents, and I had never interviewed my father. And when he passed away, I really felt that I needed to do something to make sure that his legacy was protected. And also, apart from, trying to come to terms with just mourning his loss, I also felt that there was such an incredible story of inspiration there for the youth of the country and underprivileged children everywhere. 2006 was when I did my first interview with Buck O'Neill, who was 94 years old at the time. He was the first Black Major League Baseball coach.
Andre had the best arm I'd ever seen on a human being.
And that's when it all began. It took, 8 years in the making for me to get it all done. And, people were just scattered everywhere. But it was definitely a story that I felt I had to protect. And the more I got involved with it, I thought, hey, this is bigger than me just trying to protect the legacy of my father. This is a story of inspiration that needs to be told.
And as an inspiring story of success against all odds, it runs at the end of your trailer. Can you tell us more about the odds that were stacked against him?
Well, some of the odds that were stacked against him was he was born into 1934 Bahamas, which was then a British colony. And he grew up with softball and cricket being the number one sports, the national pastime of the day. And so he knew nothing about baseball. When he went to Melbourne, Florida to try out for the first time for the San Francisco Giants organization, he had never played a game of baseball, had never even seen a baseball game. And so he was definitely someone that had, raw talent and was a great example of, someone coming from humble beginnings and achieving a lot with pure dedication.
Yes, that is great. Did having a father who was the first Bahamian player in the Major League Baseball give you a higher sense of your Bahamian heritage?
Absolutely. And, since then, we've become an independent country. We became independent in 1973. And so in the last 42 years, it's all been about Bahamian pride. And it's a learning process for every Bahamian that we're, being such a young country, we're still learning about what it means to be Bahamian, what it means to have national pride. And so absolutely, having him be the first Bahamian to play Major League Baseball is something that I'm quite proud of.
I have to ask, how was it having a professional athlete as a father?
It was, it might sound, cliche, but he was a normal father. When we was home, he was very sensitive to the needs. I was the oldest child, and I grew up with a particularly close relationship with him, um, even though he wasn't there a lot of the year. He would leave for spring training in February and get back home in late November. Um, and so I saw him at home maybe 3 months a year. When I was out of school for the summer holiday, whichever team he was playing for, we would go to that particular state and spend the summer with him. So up until I was 11, which was when he retired from professional baseball, our times were not as much as I didn't see as much of him as I'd like to, but we still managed to form a fantastic father-daughter relationship. And I often tell people that in my teens, he was the one I went to talk to about, any personal problem that I encountered, any of your teenage issues that you deal with. I didn't seek out, the knowledge of a girlfriend. It was always him.
Why did you submit your short film to Real Sisters?
I submitted my film to Real Sisters because I wanted to be a part or see how I would measure up internationally, but more importantly, I wanted to be a part of that community and that network. I think that film festival, more so than any of the other ones that I've entered, represents a grouping of women that do what I do, that speak to the causes that I speak to. And I was really touched when the CEO, Miss Butts, contacted me to do this interview. And I told her that, this was a great honor, even though I haven't been accepted that to the film festival, that I was even considered to do this interview. It really touched me a lot.
How would you feel if your film was accepted into the festival?
That would be fantastic if I was accepted. But the reason behind me submitting was, of course, I wanted to be a part of a group or wanted to be accepted by a group that was about women telling their stories. And I felt that this more than anything would represent one of the organizations or one of the film festivals that I'd be most proud to be associated with.
Proud. What can the world expect from you in 2016?
Well, I've got a number of projects on the drawing board right now. We are already in production on two documentaries. One is the story of Peanuts Taylor, who's a music legend in the Bahamas. And the other is the story Bahamians played in creating the city of Miami. Also on the drawing board is a documentary on Cuba and the after effects of the earthquake, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh, okay. And well, you've already accomplished a lot. Seems like you're about to accomplish more. I appreciate your time for this interview. It was a great experience. Is there anything that you would like to say about Real Sisters?
I want to thank Real Sisters of the Diaspora. This is quite an honor. As I was explaining earlier, this organization represents to me one of the reasons why I chose to do films. I wanted to be a part of a community of women, female directors who were speaking to our stories, that were telling our stories and making sure that they were heard and they resonated around the world. So I'm proud that you thought it, deemed it necessary to give me a call and do this interview.